Hello people YouTube, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to some more The Golf Club 2 and last night I did a live stream and I've been doing a live stream for the last couple of days and nights and I've been playing with the player settings and I feel now I'm getting the tempos pretty decent all the time and I'm playing really well and playing good scores. So what I thought I would do was, actually last night I played around with the tour settings and it was it was okay. I kind of intentionally I only wanted to play a couple of holes, but I ended up playing uh, 18 holes, but I didn't finish. I didn't want to card my score, if you know what I mean. I was actually I think I was 14 over par, but I started off kind of reasonable, made a bogey at the start, and I was a couple over par, and then I put it in the water, and then I kind of lost. I just wanted to really just hit and see where I was hitting. I wasn't really worried about my score, but I was playing okay. I was hitting in the rough a couple of times, but the tour setting is really sensitive. But I also changed my clubs as well. People in the live stream that maybe didn't see this, I basically did a test. I went and hit all the woods and hybrids at the range, both from the tee box, from a tee, and from the fairway, just to compare yardages in terms of how much carry and roll distance that I got. And my main aim was to try and get a set of clubs that I was kind of reasonably happy with. Now, I I did have pitching wedge, gap wedge, sand wedge, and lob wedge, but the problem with that is it kind of takes a club away from your top end. So I sacrificed my lob wedge just because I can do a lot of shots with the sand wedge. I just get more distance on it. So you're really losing like that 15 degrees loft that you've got. So the sand wedge I think would get you, I think it'd be 85 yards in this tour setting. So you're not really, it's a club that you can afford to lose in a way, but it gets you at the top end. It gets you like an extra club. So I've kind of took some clubs out and put some clubs in. Now I've got a driver, which is standard, and the 3-wood as well. I did put in a 2-wood, but the 2-wood gives you an extra 10 yards distance on your 3-wood. But really, it's mainly off the tee. As soon as you hit off the fairway, you're not really gaining that much. In fact, you're probably about the same as a 3-wood. And plus the fact the 2-wood is very difficult to hit, almost as hard as the driver. It is hittable, but you've got to be, I mean, out of 10 shots, you probably might hit one perfect shot. So it's not a club that you can put in your bag and get that extra range at a par 5. You're better off with the 3-wood. But this is my club layout. It's not like the perfect. I think it's a pretty good setup. Some people might not say, "Oh, I don't like that. I'd rather have this or that." But everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody's totally different. But this, I've kind of sat down and spent a little bit of time just getting all the yardages, finding out what clubs worked, and trying to get a bag set up that is kind of basically evens out across the board. So obviously we've got the driver. Then we go on, we've got a 3-wood. Now, as I say, I did plan on putting a 2-wood in, but a 2-wood is a tee club. Fairway is not, it's just not going to happen. So your 3-wood's your best option for that. As you can see there, I've got quite a snazzy paint scheme. I actually got the camouflage, and I've got the red shaft and red face, which I think is quite nice. That's my driver is actually the gold 24 karat gold edition that you get with the pre-order and also the first edition of the game. You get this driver. That's quite nice looking. So 3-wood is the second option. Now the third club in my bag, I think before I had a 2-iron. I think I went driver, 3 wood, 2 iron, 3 iron, 4 iron, and all the way up. But I think I actually had a gap wedge as well, so I'm trying to think. I think it was 3 iron, but there's a massive gap between the 3 wood and the 3 iron. So I wanted to kind of go from the 255 transition down into the irons, but try and make it so that I've got a club that I can maybe squeeze a little bit more out of it or take a bit off to get that distance control. So the next club I went with was a 5 wood. So, and you see that I've got the same setup as my 3 wood. Now I went with the 5 wood. There was a couple other options. Wait till I just get my book here, because I took down all the yardages now. Let's see. 5 wood goes to I've actually got it carrying here at 230, but it rolls out to 247. So the 235 might be optimum off a tee, but I've got it at 230, and the fairway distance carry I got was 224 yards. So you're losing a little bit off the fairway, which is understandable because you're hitting it flush off the grass, and it's rolling out 230, so you get 6 yards a carry, a rollout distance. Where compared to, 3 wood is 243, 255 off the deck, and 245 off a tee to 270. So I went with the 5 wood because my 3 iron was 207, 2 iron was 216, 1 iron was 224 yards. So it's kind of like a 1 iron equivalent, but we've got 20 yards between that and obviously our. These, in fact, just when I think about it, the 230 carry will be the player clubs. This is tour settings, so you could probably add quite a bit of yardage onto this. So that's what it will be. So you're maybe losing 6 yards on that. So I reckon that carrying from a fairway is going to be 229 yards. But I like the fact it's just 20 yards down from my 3 wood. Now the next club, I went with a 3 hybrid. Now this could, I just made it white with a red face. This club could possibly change. I tried to get something in between. That kind of is 30, 15, so yeah, 220. That is in between. So I went with the 3 hybrid. I'm trying to think what other options you've got. A 1 iron is going to be 224 players. That's maybe going to be 228, perhaps, in the tour mode. 2 iron is going to be roughly about 220, I believe. I just think maybe a 3 hybrid is going to be easier to hit. But you could actually get something that's going to go 220, maybe a 2 iron in this tour set. But that just bridges the gap between the 4 iron and the 5 wood. I just wanted something that was going to hit that kind of number. And then we come down to the 4 iron. And basically it's just bog standard all the way down, iron wise, 5, 7, 8, 9. And as I say, I took away my wall wedge. I sacrificed my wall wedge for the 5 wood option, just so the top end's a bit more balanced than having quite a big gap between what I had before, my 3 iron and my 3 wood, because that was like 200. Well, in the player settings, it's 245 yards, and my 3 iron is 207. So there's a massive gap there that you had. So that just bridges that gap. And then, as I say, I took out my lob wedge, so I've got a pitching wedge and the gap wedge. I feel is quite a good club, because if I put the lob wedge instead of the gap wedge, I would have like 130, 100, and then probably 85, because I'm in tour mode here. So you actually have quite a big gap between, your pitching wedge and your sand wedge. And the gap wedge is exactly what it says in the tin. It gaps between your pitching wedge and your sand wedge. So I've got that nice step down, 130, 115, 100. Now, as I say, I don't have the lob wedge, but you've got to make a sacrifice somewhere. You either go with a lob wedge and have that extra cob in the bag where you can get, you know, height. But to be honest, I don't think you're really going to miss it as much. So this is my setup I've got at the moment. So I just thought I'd explain that through. It's kind of interesting to see what other people have maybe got, any other ideas. And if anybody watches this and can drop a comment on what selection they've got, it might be quite interesting just to see what other people are kind of doing. But I reckon I've got quite a good setup here. But that's, as I say, that's my belief. So I changed to tour mode. Standard's too easy. I don't think I've really played at all in standard. The first round I ever played in this game was tour mode, and I played quite an easy course. I think it was Blackbrook course, and I mean that's quite an easy course. But I think I shot a 78, which was 6 over par. But that was the first time, and I played tour mode, which might have been a mistake, but I just wanted to see how tough it was, and it was really tough. So I went back to player, and I've played player for the last couple of days, and I've started now to be hitting really accurate with it, really consistent. So I've been starting to play tour mode a lot. So let's select tour mode, and let's actually go and hit a few drives. So let's go to the training and the driving range. Now, the sensitivity on the swing for the tour mode is very, very sensitive. I actually played just before I recorded this. I had a perfect straight shot. Probably the first time I think I've actually ever done it. So what wind have we got? Wind's behind. So this is easily going to go 300 yards. See, that's almost perfect. That's a really good shot. So my tempo's good now. It's just getting this consistently in that cone. So there you go, 308 yards. That's the bonus about going tour mode. It's kind of like pros and cons. Pros are you're going to get more yardage out of clubs. The cons are it's very difficult to be consistent. And any type of shot outside of the see that's just to the right of the cone. It still gives you a good shot, but you can see there that you've actually drifted a little bit. Now, if that was a fairway, that could actually be potentially in the rough. So this is where you've got to really be very consistent. But let's aim for that buggy. Let's take effect for the wind here. Let's hit. Right, that's just a little bit to the right. And it's actually a pretty decent shot, so it's keeping it in that cone. So I'll probably I might actually live stream later, and I might actually play around with the tour clubs. So now that's slow, and that's outside the cone, and there you go, look. You know, it penalises you, and that's the way it should be. So it's very, very tricky to keep it consistent. Now that's right in the edge of the cone. That's borderline, to be honest. And you can see there, it's better than the last shot, but it's not really where you want it to be. So it is a lot more difficult to hit a straight shot. It's so sensitive. But you can see there, that's a couple of yards just left of that cart. That's what we're aiming for. So it's quite easy to pull, because that wind should have brought that back, but because we tugged it just a touch, we seem to always be down the left hand side of that cone. So you could actually theoretically aim a bit further over, but then you probably actually start going the other way. See, that's outside the cone, that's going to go to the right. it's just a lot more difficult. I mean, this driving range is quite big, but put a tight fairway, then it's really going to get tough. Backswing glitch. Yeah, I see that backswing was slow. So that's a couple of yards offline. That's maybe, what, 10 yards offline. I just say, if you're playing a course, that's going to really penalise you. We seem to favour this side quite a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that, okay, we're favouring that side, so let's actually put a bit of fade in the ball. And then look, you hit it to the right. So I actually feel now that, as I said before, I probably said this again, that the Golf Club 1 for me was quite an easy game in terms of off the tee. It was just too easy to hit the fairway and also hit a good shot. This tour mode really does add a lot more flexibility in your tee shot. Not really, that's maybe the wrong word to use, flexibility. It just adds a bit more like a random hit point. So if you've got a fairway that's quite narrow and you're sitting with a driver, it might actually make you come down to 3-wood, for instance, and maybe hit something that's a bit more consistent. Like, that's right on the money there. And that probably don't went. So you can actually see here that you're almost hitting. Let's aim up this. Right, so there's the marker there. So we can actually hit this 3-wood better. You can see there that it's more inside the cone. And we're getting that 260 yards plus roll out 280, 279. So that's actually going a good distance. And okay, there's a little bit of wind behind, but that you're getting actually a good distance with that club. So going to the driver, you see you're just getting a little bit more harder to hit. And you see they were just slightly off. And I think they've got it really good because if you apply, you can hit a good shot, but there's just that little bit of a random element to the game. Where if you're just not on it, I mean, this is great hitting in a driving range because you're hitting a big piece of land that's made, it's fairway. But as soon as you get out onto a golf course and everything tightens in, it's a different kettle of fish. You know, and this is where maybe hitting some balls in the driving range, trying to get it drilled. In fact, did we actually hit that bad there? That's a bit of a weird one. So we're actually hitting good shots here. Timing's good, and we're hitting it kind of in the cone, but we're not that way where it's comfortably perfect in the cone, which I think to hit a drive was absolutely perfect. So you always tend to find a side of it. So I'm actually really looking forward to playing at a golf course. I don't know whether I might record a round on one of the offline courses using this. But we're consistently quite good. You know, we're getting it inside the cone, but there's just that slight wee bit of variation in that cone as well. You're not always guaranteed to get it, you know, really where you ultimately want to be. See there, that was a slow downswing. Now, I feel in player mode, if you do that in player mode, you still hit a decent shot. But in this mode, if it's not perfect, it's going to be short in yards and hooking or drawing or fading or whatever. So you really have got to be consistent in this mode. Anything that's not perfect, there's going to be a slight deviation in yardage. Now that's a terrible shot. Look at that. Oh, that is bad. Now you can see there that's bad. That's the first really. That's almost like a duck hook. But really, the game mechanics of this game are fantastic. I just think they've really got it really good. I think they've got the game of golf really good, and I think this tour mode is, to me, it's difficult to get it. I mean, if you're making this game and you're doing all the kind of mechanics of the swing, it's difficult to get a happy medium between what's fair and what's not fair. Because you could almost go too far and make this mode just like impossible. You know, it would almost be like you can't play it. But then you've got to make it so that it's playable. If you apply a good swing and a consistent swing, you're going to get good results. But if you just deviate a touch, and it's that fine balance between, it's as I've said, it's almost like walking on a knife edge. To walk that knife edge is very slim, but if you do it, you get good results. But if you just deviate a little bit left or right, it's enough to just make it a bad day. And that's what golf is, and that's the way it should be. But that's very difficult to get, and I think they've got it just right in this tour mode. They've made it so that you're getting benefits because you're getting extra yardage. So when you come to a par 5, you've got more of a chance of hitting that green in 2 than somebody that's playing maybe player mode. But then you're taking more of a risk to get that yardage. But it's not like overpowered extra distance. It's enough of an incentive for somebody to go to tour mode and try it and try and get that distance, but you're not going to be like overpowering it too much. So that backswing was slow, but we actually get away with that one. So I'll probably end this video and I'll probably make this a 25-minute video. It's probably one of the shortest videos that I've ever made. So you can see we're actually hitting consistent. We've hit a couple of bad shots. Overall, we're inside the cone. So we're actually playing really well. And I think I may transition over to the tour clubs, if I'm honest. Because I think it's going to give us a better game. We are going to make mistakes and we are going to get into trouble, but I think that's what makes a round. Is the fact that when you do, and this game is really, really good for, if you don't hit the fairway, then the hole becomes a completely different challenge. Whereas in Tiger Woods and PGA Tour games, hitting the rough wasn't really a bad thing. You could actually get a shot out and probably even get to the green, even if you had quite a long shot approach to the green. This game's totally different. When you get in a bunker or you get in the rough, you're almost at the point where it's almost impossible to hit that green. So you're actually going to have to play out and take a shot and then get onto the green and try and rescue par. And that's where this game really does, I think, stand out from other golf games. Now that's a bad shot. That's just outside the cone. You can see that that's tugged enough offline that probably would be in the rough. So guys, I'm going to call it a day there. I've kind of explained my club selection. I've also explained like the tour mode. So I'm probably, I don't know whether I'll record a tour mode round offline. I might, I don't know. I'm actually going to end this recording. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. let me know. I mean, if anybody wants to put a comment in what clubs they've chosen, whether they've taken their lob wedge out and put something else in, or you know, that should be good to know. But anyway, I hope that's maybe even helped you maybe sort of think about your club selection a little bit and maybe guide you in the right direction. So, hope you enjoyed that video, guys and girls, and always remember to subscribe. As I said before, it's greatly appreciated. I'm actually starting to get some subscribers now and move somewhere on YouTube land. So once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you've had a great day whenever you watch this in the world. And I will see you for more videos coming up soon. Take care, folks, and I will see you later. Bye.